At the end of the day, getting our employees back safely to their families is at the heart of what we do. That begins with a culture of safety. In a culture of safety, people are not merely encouraged to work toward change, they take action when it's needed. Good decision-making, ongoing training, and adequate oversight by management are keys to our success. Welcome to Edgecombe Genco LLC. Edgecombe Power Station is a clean, coal-fired electric cogeneration facility. In addition to electrical generation, we export steam to a pharmaceutical plant for their process. Our employees are highly trained to operate and maintain the plant in a safe and reliable manner while minimizing the impact on the environment. Throughout this video, we'll describe how we make electricity and steam, how we minimize or eliminate safety hazards, and how the 5 key elements of Carolina STAR program are worked into our daily routine. Employees and contractors have the right to stop any job at any time because of safety. Training, PPE, the right tools, and the right amount of time will always be provided so that the employees can complete each job in a safe manner. EPS receives its coal from mines in the eastern United States. This coal is delivered by CSX in 100-ton railroad cars. The fuel handlers must unload the cars to a conveyor system that transports the coal to the storage pile. Cars are moved via a hydraulic car spotter that is operated by the fuel handlers. So let's stop for safety. Before we begin each job, we spot the hazards and then put a plan in place to eliminate or minimize the hazards. In this job, we have locomotives and rail cars in motion. Sometimes the two fuel handlers cannot see each other. Sometimes there are adverse weather conditions, and dust from unloading coal can occur. As mentioned, sometimes the fuel handlers cannot see each other, and this is a safety issue when you're moving rail cars. To eliminate the hazard, both fuel handlers have to simultaneously push a switch to move the rail cars. This means that both fuel handlers must be clear in order to operate the machinery. The job of unloading coal cars will be postponed in adverse weather conditions. If the coal is producing dust, misting sprays will be utilized around the unloading hopper. Our preference is always to engineer to eliminate the safety hazard. If this cannot be done, we write procedures, train our personnel, change the schedule, and/or utilize personal protective equipment. Coal from the storage pile is transported to the coal bunkers via a conveyor system. Coal is emptied from the conveyor using a tripper car. This system is fully automated, and the tripper car moves from bunker to bunker during operation. The tripper system originally came equipped with a buzzer and trip cords to alert workers of impending movement. An employee recognized that if the buzzer would fail and employees are working in the area of the tripper system, the result could be an injury. Let's stop for safety. When an employee recognizes a hazard, he can stop the job if needed. He can communicate straight to management, the safety committee, or through the safety suggestion process. So through the Safety Suggestion Program, he recommended that a second alert system be implemented. The Safety Committee, which is comprised of employees and supported by management, reviewed and approved the recommendation and tracked it to completion. A bright flashing light was installed in addition to the buzzer to provide a second alert to a completely different set of senses. Since then, safety chains, safety guards, and a bright orange trip cord have been added. The coal gravity feeds from the bunkers to the boilers. The coal is burned to provide the heat required to convert water into high temperature and pressure steam. The boilers heat up and some of the ash forms clinkers on the boiler walls and grates. The hazards are heat, boiler gas, possibly steam from a tube leak, pinch points, rotating equipment, ergonomics when raking grates, and manual exhaustion are a few of the hazards of this job duty. Edgecombe engineered better mobile rolling work platforms and rolling heat shields to provide protection to the employees while working on feeders and raking grates. Fire retardant blankets are now draped over the front of the boiler when working on feeders and distributors to minimize heat in hot surfaces. The last resort is PPE, to which in addition to steel-toed boots, hard hats, hearing protection, and safety glasses, the operators wear FRP clothing, thermal gloves and sleeves, and face shields. Once ash leaves the boiler furnace area, it falls into the bottom ash system. From a safety standpoint, the new ash system is one of the biggest improvements made in the plant. EPS completely redesigned the bottom ash system from a vacuum type to a submerged drag chain. The previous system was very labor-intensive. The old system required the operators to use sledgehammers and steel poles to remove the ash. The hazards with the old system included physical exertion, exposure to boiler gas and heat, pinch points, falling hot ash, and overall poor ergonomics. The new drag chain ash system has eliminated 90% of the work needed for the operation and maintenance of the system and eliminated the hazards mentioned earlier. By the way, all of the bottom ash is used to make cement blocks. Our demineralization building is where we take water from the city and purify it to the standards necessary to operate steam turbines and boilers at high temperatures and pressures. This process involves the use of several potentially hazardous chemicals. Some of these chemicals can react violently should they come in contact with each other. Employees have identified these potential hazardous areas and made suggestions to improve them to eliminate this potential. For instance, walls were constructed between the chemical skids to prevent the chemicals from coming in contact with each other. Curtains were hung to prevent the possibility of employees being sprayed in the event of a leak. PPE cabinets were added to provide employees with extra PPE should it be needed quickly. The cooling towers are where we cool the water used to condense the steam after it passes through the turbine so we can reuse it in the closed-loop system. Operators are around this area several times a day to inspect and evaluate its performance. It was realized that there was a possibility that someone could trip and fall into the tower basin. As a result of this potential, a work order was submitted to install handrails around the tower basin to eliminate this hazard. The equipment on the backside of the facility is used to remove pollutants from the gas stream exiting the boiler. The spray dryer absorber SDA uses lime slurry that is atomized and sprayed into the gas stream to remove approximately 99% of the sulfur. The bag house filters all of the particulate matter from the gas, making it free from ash as it leaves the stack, similar to the bag in your vacuum cleaner. At times, the bag house hoppers must be opened up and inspected. These hopper doors are 10 to 12 feet from the ground and may contain ash. This task was made safer by constructing platforms from which the operators can perform this task instead of from a ladder. Continuous emissions monitors analyze the gas entering and leaving the equipment to verify that our emissions are far below the state and federal requirements. Edgecombe makes enough electricity to power 150,000 homes and send 65,000 pounds of steam an hour to a local pharmaceutical plant. Safety is a value. Edgecombe employees recognize the importance of safety and value the benefits from adhering to policies and procedures. All personnel focus on the continual progression or advancement of the program. We encourage new ideas and projects that will improve the aspects of all processes. EPS utilizes the key elements within the Carolina STAR program to recognize and eliminate or minimize hazards in our workplace. Employee participation at all levels is considered the strength of our safety program. Every employee realizes that their input is relevant and makes a difference. As a team, we will work towards the common goal, producing a work environment that is safe and where all employees are knowledgeable and willing to speak out to foster growth and improvement.